Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to all of you. I'm Rifki Apriliansyah. I'll be presenting a paper on the subject, the effect of work culture on the level of work ethics in the molding department on XYZ company. Well, the introduction of this paper. In the industrial sector, it cannot be separated from the problems caused by work accident. One of the things that can cause work accidents is manual material handling activities. Poor manual material handling activities can cause MSDS problems, the risk of low back pain, and poor fatigue. If the workers with non-ergonomic work posture, they will be prone to work fatigue. If the operator's work posture is not ergonomic, the operator will quickly get tired. If the operator is easily exhausted, the result of the work carried out will be also decreased and not be as expected. Based on these problems, the study was conducted to analyze the risk of posture in manual material handling activities and the level of work fatigue in the molding section of XYZ company using the NBM questionnaire, the REBA method, and the SOFI questionnaire. Okay, the methodology, research methodology, the subject of this paper are the workers, especially for workers who is a male, who is working in the molding department of XYZ company, who carries out the process of printing metal liquid into a mold. And for the object of the research are work ethic and work posture of the workers. And this paper used REBA method and Nordic Medical Questionnaire for measure the work posture and using SOFI questionnaire to measure the work ethic. Now the result and also the discussion of this paper. The first is Nordic body map. Okay. To get this result of the Nordic body map questionnaire, the workers were asked about which part of their body that feels no pain to very painful when they are doing their job. As you can see in the slide, these are the assessment of the body part of the workers based on the Nordic body map questionnaire. All of the workers feel very painful on the waist because when they do their job, they often bend down. And majority of the workers feel painful on both feet. Okay, now we move to the another result and discussion. After we analyze about part of the workers' body section, now we analyze the entire body of the worker using REBA method. Now for the REBA method, in the REBA method, the analysis is carried out by determining 6 corner points on the worker's body. As you can see in the description, there are 6 corner points. The first one is angel A. Angel A is the angle between the operator's neck posture when working with a normal neck posture. Then for the angle B between the operator's upper arm posture while working with normal upper arm posture. And for the angle C, the angle between the operator's forearm posture when working with a normal forearm posture. And the fourth one is the angle D, which is the angle between the operator's back when working with a normal back posture. And for the angle E, the angle between the operator's wrist posture while working with a normal wrist posture. And the last one is angle F, which is the angle between the operator's foot posture when working with a normal foot posture. After we determine the angle, the calculations will be made using ergo software. So in this paper, we will not calculate the data manually, but we are using a software called ergo. Okay, of the four operators obtain the following values. For the operator 1, get a REBA score of 10. It is interpreted that the risk level are high risk and the action is investigations need to be made. And for the operator 2, the REBA score is 12. And also for the operator 3 and the operator 4. So there are three operators that get a REBA score of 12, which indicates that the risk level are very high risk and the actions is change must be made. Okay, after we measure the work posture, now it's time to measure the work fatigue. To measure the work fatigue is using SOFI questionnaire. The following are the results of the SOFI questionnaire, where there are 5 dimensions that are measured. Okay, the first one is lack of energy, then the second is physical ability, and then the third is physical discomfort, and then lack of motivation, and the last one is drowsiness. Okay, based on these 5 dimensions, the operator gets the score for each dimension. The data that has been obtained is processed so that the average value for each operator is obtained. Okay, as you can see in the slide, there are 4 operators that have been calculated. And for the operator that has the highest score of SOFI questionnaire is the operator 1. The operator 1 gets the dimension SOFI questionnaire score by 3.46. And for the operator 2, the score is 3.21. The operator 3 is 2.7, and the operator 4 is 3.2. As I said before, the highest operator is the operator 1. This is much influenced by the aspect of the feeling the muscle tense and feeling stiff in the joints. The work carried out by the operators relies heavily on the strength of the muscle and joints, where the work is done repetitively and with non-ergonomic posture. So it is not surprising that the operator feels pain in his muscle and joints. Okay, after we get the value for work posture and work fatigue, then the analysis is carried out with a statistical test to find out whether there is a relationship between work posture and the work fatigue. The statistical test used a simple linear regression test. Okay, for a simple linear regression test, there are 2 tests that must be done. The first one is normality test. Okay, based on the calculation of the normality test, it is obtained that the value is greater than 0.05, which means that the data is normally distributed. Okay, when we know that the data is normally distributed, then we can continue the data processing to the simple linear regression test. Okay, based on the linear regression test, we got conclusion that the work fatigue and the work posture that they have a correlation of the 2 variables, which is very strong. And the work posture variables affect the level of work fatigue by 56.9%, which means that the influence of posture is significant. Okay, after we know that there is a relationship between work posture and work fatigue, this paper will try to provide even better recommendations so that the companies can implement them. This recommendation use a hierarchy of control. Okay, the first recommendation is about using personal protective equipment. In this recommendation, there are 3 things that can be improved, namely the use of safety helmets, safety shoes, and also gloves. This is recommended because none of the workers at XYZ company wear personal protective equipment. So when they are doing their job, they're just do it without using a personal protective equipment. So it must be a danger for them if they are continue to do this habit. Okay, now we go to the next recommendations, which is administrative control. Okay, in the administrative control, there are three recommendations. The first one is conduct occupational safety and health training. The second is schedule a short-term break. And the last one is exercise before the workers start job. Then the last recommendation is about engineering control. The first is to redesign the work movement of the workers. These aim to make the movement of the workers safer and more comfortable. Then redesign the tools and workstations so that workers can maximize their work productivity. Okay, that's all about the paper, about this paper. Then we can jump into the conclusion. The first one is the result of NBM Questionnaire is showed that the body segment that experience complaints were the left and back body segment. For the result of REBA method, the operator one gets a REBA score of 10, which is a high risk, and the other three operators get a REBA score of 12, which is very high risk. And then for the work fatigue, which is measured by SOFI questionnaire, from the four operator indicates that the four operator experience moderate work fatigue. Then the third conclusion is from the result of a simple linear regression test indicate that the effect of work posture on our fatigue has a strong relationship and has an impact of 56.9%. Then the last conclusion is the recommendation are to use PPE or personal protective equipment such as safety helmets, gloves, and safety shoes. And the schedule short break, conduct OSH management system training, and do exercise before work, as well as redesigning the working procedure, redesigning the print bracket and tools, and redesigning the workstation in the molding department. All right, thank you. That's all about my presentation about this paper. Hope all of you get the benefit and you can get the result from this paper. Thank you. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.